Welcome to the rules tutorial for Lava Ball. This is a how to play Lava Ball by the rules. In the rulebook, there is another video which is a sample game where I play both sides. I highly recommend that you watch that video to just get a feel for how the game is played watching me play, and then come back to this video to see the in-depth of how the rules work. Okay, so I'll start looking at the flowchart here. And most of what you need to know to play the game is just in this regular turn flow. You can start playing without really knowing about the goal reaction, and the ball stuck check here is something that won't come up very often. So even though that takes up a lot of space in this flowchart, it's actually a really quick thing, and most of the time you'll just skip it because there's going to be nothing to do there. Okay, so the main part of this game is possession and run. That's what you're going to be doing most of the time. So at the start of a regular turn, the game starts, okay, player starts, phase one, do you have possession? So that's what one of your players next to the ball is. So if you have possession, then you can pivot or kick, otherwise you skip straight to phase two and you run any player. So at the start of the game, say purple goes first, purple does not have possession because purple does not have a player next to a ball, so purple can run, so like run to there is fine. You can run your goalie, it's fine. The field players cannot run onto the goal line, so that's not allowed. And the goalie can go in the goal and on the goal line, but only on their own goal. So this goalie here, if he was here, he couldn't run into there. Okay, so player runs. All right, so that is the run. And then was a goal scored, and that's only check after possession, you can see. So in this case, you run, check for a ball stuck. It's the ball surrounded. There are no empty spaces all around the ball. There's not. That's why I was saying you can skip this most of the time. So the opponent starts a regular turn. Right, so now it's green's turn. Now green runs a player, right? So green could run like to there, and then it would be purple's turn. Purple runs, green runs. Okay, now possession. In this case, purple starts their turn with a player next to the ball, so they have possession. So that's what this here is. And you can take unlimited pivot and kick actions with your players. The only restriction is you cannot pivot with the same player twice in a row. Okay, pivot and kick actions. Pivot is to move the ball one space around the player, so like this player can move it one space around. And kick is to move it away. Now, when you're kicking, the ball goes in a straight line as far as you want. Other players block it. You can't kick it off the board. And whenever you're pivoting, you can, let's say the screen player is here, you can pivot onto another player if it's not the opponent goalie, but it can't stay there. So that means in this case, if this was the situation, purple could actually pivot and kick through and score, because you score by kicking to the inner spots on the goal here. You can move the ball temporarily onto another player. Okay, and to explain the can't pivot with same player multiple times in a row, let's look at an example. Let's say it's like this, and the ball's here, right? So this player, if it's purple's turn, could pivot the ball here. He can't pivot again, but this player could pivot to here, and then this player could now pivot to here. Possession is optional. You can take as many or as few pivot or kick actions as you want. After you're done pivoting and kicking, you run, right? You proceed to phase two, unless you score, right? So if you did a kick and score, then you're going to go straight to the celebration phase. This is a branching path, right? You're either going to the run or to celebration. So in the case of celebration, so let's put this back and say that purple, goes like this. Purple pivots, kicks, and scores. Okay, so celebration. Right, so reset goalie, and then two field player runs, and the opponent starts a goal reaction turn. Okay, so reset the goalie. That means purple can put their goalie anywhere on the goal line, and you'll get the chance to do this again after you own your players, but you can just do this now to help you visualize for what you're planning next. So in this case, I don't have to move him, right? I can just leave him there because I can move him anyway. So celebration is take two runs. So I can run like this and run here. Now, whenever a player runs, you can never run through the lava And you can never run through another player. And I already said earlier you can't run a field player into the goal line, and goalies can't go onto the opponent's goal line or into their goal. Okay, so after 2 runs, right, that's 2 field player runs here. Well, that was the celebration of the attacker scoring, doing 2 field player runs. Now the opponent starts a goal reaction turn. So goal reaction turn, so it's Green's turn. Green's going to run 2 field players, so maybe run here and here. You can run, it's 2 runs, you can run with the same player if you want. And so if you really don't want to change your position at all, you can just like run, and that's fine. Okay, and then place lava is next. So grab a lava, and the defending player who just got scored on can place a lava anywhere where there's an empty space. It just cannot be next to an existing lava, so there's not allowed. And it can't be next to the goal line, any goal line. So like there and there and there are not allowed, right? But here would be fine, here would be fine. That would not be allowed, that's allowed. Okay, so after placing lava, the reset goalie happens. So now Green can put their goalie anywhere on the goal line, and then put the ball next to their goalie, and then does a kick. There's no comboing after this, so it's not like the possession phase. So as soon as Green kicks, that's going to kick the ball and just stay there. You can kick it anywhere. Probably want to kick it to where one of your players will have possession and the opponent can't take it. One thing to note about the kick action, whether it's in a kick like this or in your possession phase, is goalies can never score. That's the only other restriction about kicking, is goalies can't score. So they're defensive specialists that are good at blocking. You can't pivot onto an opponent goalie. You can still run your goalie out into the field, so they can't help play. You're just giving up your defense at home to do that. Okay, so once the kickoff happens, the opponent starts a regular turn. So when you score, you're going to run twice, then your opponent's going to run twice, place a lava, reset their goalie, do a kickoff, and then you start your turn again. So you maintain momentum. And it's first player to 2 points wins. Advanced players can play to 5 points. Okay, I kind of skipped over this regular turn, phase 3 ball stuck. All that is if the ball's ever surrounded, let's say it's like this, and purple runs here, and then say green runs here, and then say purple runs here. So now on all sides around the ball, there's got to be at least one empty space, right? Empty field space. So not a goal line, not a goal spot, not a spot with a player, not off the board, not a lava, right? Empty spot on the field. In this case, there's none. So when that happens, the ball resets to the center on this lava here. And if possible, a new lava goes down. In this case, there's not another lava here, and it's not adjacent to a goal line. So this is allowed here, right? But if the ball was stuck, say like up here, let's say this was the case, right? Let's say it was like this, and let's say green ran to here. The ball reset, but no lava would go down because it's already next to the goal line. Okay, that is the rules for how to play Lava Ball. Again, I recommend that you watch the other video that shows the sample game. And if you have any questions, just send me an email. Thank you. Bye.